Welcome back to the place where ancient wisdom meets modern strength. In today's video, we're diving deep into a part of yourself you may have been neglecting for far too long. Self-esteem and self-love. Not in a cheesy, feel-good way, but through the lens of ancient Stoic power. If you're ready to rebuild from the inside out, you're in the right place. Before we begin, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, drop a like, and share this with someone who needs to hear it today. Let's get started.
Welcome back to the deep dive. We take your sources, cut through the noise, and really pull out those key insights. Our goal, give you that shortcut to being genuinely informed, maybe with a few surprises and hopefully enough interest to keep you listening. Today we're diving into something, well, fascinating and maybe a bit unexpected, how ancient Stoic philosophy can actually help with modern relationships, specifically, attracting that deeper connection you might be looking for. We've gone through some really compelling materials, especially this detailed look at Stoic secrets for attracting someone specific. And honestly, if you think Stoicism means being totally emotionless, well, you're in for a bit of a surprise. Okay, let's unpack this. We're going to explore how adopting some Stoic ideas could really shift your whole approach to love and relationships. Think practical tools, things that can make you, well, genuinely more magnetic without all the usual dating game strategies.
Yeah, it really does sound like a bit of a stretch at first, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Connecting this ancient philosophy about virtue and self-control with something as messy and personal as relationships today. But what's genuinely amazing is how relevant these old principles are. They offer this solid framework for navigating, well, all the complexities of connection. And yeah, maybe even attracting the right kind of people.
That's definitely the hook. So, okay, before we get into the attraction tactics, let's lay the groundwork. What is Stoicism really? Beyond just a definition.
Well, a lot of people picture it as, really rigid self-denial or suppressing all your feelings. But really, at its core, it's about building deep self-control and using rational thought. The goal is a virtuous life, a fulfilling one. It's more about finding this unshakable inner peace, no matter what's happening around you. So less about not having emotions and more about understanding them, managing them wisely.
Okay, so not becoming Spock, basically.
Right. Not Spock.
It's about managing your internal world. So the chaos of, say, modern dating doesn't throw you off balance. How does that ancient idea help with, dating app burnout?
Exactly. And the core principle here, the really empowering one for relationships, is focusing intensely on what you can control. That means your thoughts, your actions, how you choose to respond, not external events, and definitely not how someone else behaves or feels. This lets you respond thoughtfully, you see, instead of just reacting on impulse. What's really interesting is how this helps build stronger connections, because you're coming from a place of intention, of considered action, not just raw emotion. It gives off this sense of calm resilience, and that's actually deeply attractive.
That does reframe things quite a bit. Okay, with that inner foundation set, let's jump into some specific Stoic principles for connection. First one, clarity of intent. This feels basic, but maybe it isn't. How important is knowing what you actually want?
Oh, it's huge. Most people sort of vaguely hope for a connection. But Stoicism shows that really precise intention. It works like a powerful filter. When you're crystal clear on what you're seeking, maybe it's companionship, maybe passionate love, maybe an intellectual partner, you stop just, drifting. It made me think, are we really clear on what we deeply desire? Or are we just hoping something good comes along?
And what's the practical effect of being that clear? How does it make you more magnetic specifically?
Well, it immediately signals your core values. It tends to repel people who aren't a good fit and magnetically pull in those who resonate with what you're about. You stop vague dating, basically. When you know your non-negotiables, your conversations change. They become more direct, more real. You communicate your values without even trying sometimes. Then that focus, it signals confidence, self-awareness. That's appealing. It saves you potentially years of frustrating dead ends, practically. You could journal about it, really get specific on ideal qualities, or try visualization, imagining that ideal relationship. It just sharpens your focus.
Okay, that makes sense. It leads nicely into the next one. Emotional detachment. Now, this one sounds tricky, especially if you are really invested. How do you detach without just seeming aloof or like you don't care?
Right, that's the key distinction. It's not about being cold or uncaring at all. It's about radical self-possession, holding on to yourself.
Yeah.
By not being overly attached to exactly how things turn out, you free yourself from a lot of stress, a lot of anxiety. Think about it if you're not desperate for a specific outcome, like, say, getting that second date or hitting a relationship milestone by X date. You stop putting all this pressure on the situation, on the other person, on yourself. And that lets your authentic self come through, without the anxiety filter. And that genuine, unburdened presence, it's very attractive. It feels safe, refreshing. Like if a conversation doesn't go perfectly, detachment helps you keep your cool, communicate better, instead of like spiraling. It helps you appreciate someone for who they are, instead of loading them up with your expectations.
Which seems connected to the next idea, acceptance of reality. We resist things, right? Especially if a relationship isn't going how we hoped. How does Stoicism suggest we handle that?
Acceptance is vital for growth and, for attracting healthy relationships too. When you accept what is the current situation without fighting it constantly, you actually lower your anxiety. You're not burdened by unrealistic hopes. This means you can make clear decisions if things aren't progressing. Acceptance lets you evaluate honestly, not from a place of denial or frustration, and that makes you seem grounded, resilient, which are, pretty attractive qualities. And remember, acceptance doesn't mean giving up or settling for less, not at all. It means seeing reality clearly so you can move forward with intention. You're not stuck reacting to what isn't. Simple tools here are things like mindfulness, maybe meditation, or even just deep breathing exercises. Journaling can also help process things and accept where you are right now.
Right. Okay, next up, something that sounds, nicer maybe, practicing gratitude. How does being grateful connect to attracting someone?
Oh, it's incredibly powerful. Transformative, really. When you actively acknowledge what you already have, you shift from a mindset of lack, of scarcity, to one of abundance. It sort of recharges your inner battery. And you radiate this positive energy. It draws people in. It's magnetic. When you express gratitude, even internally, you just create this inviting vibe. People who appreciate things are generally nicer to be around, right? So you attract others who also have that appreciative outlook. Looking at the bigger picture, gratitude just shifts your whole perspective. It fosters deeper connections because you're seeing the good. A really simple, practical tool, gratitude journaling. Just jotting down, say, 3 things you're thankful for each day. Small things count. Even after a terrible date, maybe you can appreciate, the coffee was good.
Right.
Or you tried a new place. It shifts your internal state, makes you less likely to carry that negativity forward.
And to actually build those connections, the sources emphasize mindfulness and presence. Being there in interactions, why is that so critical for attraction?
Because being fully present shows you genuinely value the other person, their thoughts, their feelings. That's how you build strong bonds. And it makes you incredibly appealing. Think about it. We live in such a distracted world. Someone who is truly with you, actually listening, making eye contact, picking up on the little things. That person stands out. It signals empathy, understanding. Simple techniques like deep breathing before you meet someone, or really focusing on listening without just planning your reply, can make a huge difference. You absorb more, you respond more authentically, you make the other person feel seen, heard. You also start noticing the nonverbal stuff, more body language, tone of voice.
Yeah.
It just makes interactions richer, more meaningful.
Okay, shifting gears slightly. The material really pushes the idea of continuous self-improvement, that working on yourself is essential for attracting the right person.
Absolutely essential. It's not just about looking good on paper. When you actively invest in your own growth, your skills, your knowledge, your confidence, you become, more attractive overall. You naturally start drawing in people who resonate with that journey of growth. You're signaling competence, curiosity, self-respect. And this could be anything, really. Reading insightful books like The 7 Habits is a classic example. Or taking online courses, Coursera, Udemy, whatever. Learning a new skill, deepening your knowledge. And here's where it gets really interesting. The more you genuinely invest in becoming a better version of yourself, the more magnetic your energy becomes. It attracts positive relationships that actually align with who you're becoming. It's like you're creating your own gravity for quality connections.
Right, that makes sense. Finally, let's talk about building strong boundaries. This can feel negative, like putting up walls. But Stoicism seems to frame it as crucial for well-being and attraction.
Oh, absolutely critical. Boundaries aren't walls to keep people out. They're more like guidelines for healthy interaction. They protect your energy, stop you from feeling overwhelmed or, taken advantage of. And that allows for connections built on respect, which are the fulfilling kind. It boils down to communicating your needs clearly. To set them effectively, first, you need to figure out what's okay for you and what's not. What are your limits? Then use I statements like, I need some quiet time tonight, instead of, say, you're demanding too much. It's less accusatory. And consistency is key. You have to uphold them. That reinforces their importance. It brings up a good question, doesn't it? Are we prioritizing our own emotional well-being enough? Because when you have clear boundaries, you signal self-respect. And that naturally invites respect from others. It also helps weed out people who won't respect your boundaries, leaving space for those who will. Healthy boundaries actually foster mutual respect and understanding. They create a safe space where both people can thrive.
Wow. Okay, so as we wrap this up, it's really clear these ancient Stoic ideas offer some very practical, maybe even counterintuitive tools for building deeper connections, for a more fulfilling love life. It's less about tactics and more about building a strong inner self that just naturally draws people in.
Precisely. And it leads to a final thought, maybe. If Stoicism teaches mastering our inner world to handle the outer world,
Yeah.
what does it really mean to master ourselves? Not just to attract one specific person, but to cultivate these deep, respectful connections everywhere in our lives. It's a powerful idea to sit with, isn't it? That the pursuit of self-mastery, that itself, becomes the ultimate source of attraction.
That is a great question to ponder after we finish here. Thank you for joining us for this deep dive into Stoic wisdom and modern love. We really encourage you to take these insights and continue your own journey, self-discovery, meaningful connections. Until next time on The Deep Dive.